recession hitting, unaffordability in the housing market, banks coming crashing down, and crypto going up. What is going on, guys? Lottery Stocks here. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the channel if you're new. Today we have a lot of stuff to go over, so stay till the end of the video so you don't have to watch another update video here on YouTube. I am going to update you on everything that there is to update you on. All I ask in return is hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and also a huge thank you to the sponsor of today's video, Chart Prime, but more on that later. Alright guys, so Bitcoin has scaled up to 28,000 as crypto has begun to climb, and I've said it time and time again that this is a liquidity stash spot, if you will, for these bigger players, and once this starts to climb, you may see equities start climbing as well, and you're also seeing the S&P 500 go green on the day. Now, a federal judge has rejected the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission's attempts to claim that cryptocurrencies must be regulated by them. They can't even regulate what they are currently responsible for. What makes them think they can handle more work? Now, this is a beautiful thing to see for crypto. If you do own crypto, let me know in the comments. Basically, a federal judge is saying the SEC, you have no control over what happens with cryptocurrencies, and there's no way we're going to allow you to regulate them, at least not right now. Touching on that, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis calls to ban central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, which is a very, very interesting thing to do, especially with what's happening with banks and currencies in general. Also, CBDCs is something relatively new, and the Florida governor already has plans to ban it completely. Touching on GameStop real quick, GameStop is touching on $17.05, and yesterday I talked about the earnings and how it plays out on the chart, and I plan on riding $17.05 all the way up to $19.50. I recently loaded up on calls today. If you want to know my active trades, I post them in Discord as soon as I take them. We also made a bunch of money on Credit Suisse this morning, so that was a beautiful play as well. But overall, GameStop, I expect this thing to scale to the upside to at least $19.50. We have earnings Tuesday after market close, so tomorrow after market close, and I wanted to jump in early, so I grabbed my calls today. As you're seeing this video, you should have time to grab them. I am not telling you to do so, not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but this is my opinion on GameStop. It's at a relative low. It's respecting the overall trend line that it's been in since January, and essentially after earnings, it plays out the same exact thing every single time, so I think the risk reward is there personally. Touching on AMC as well, I think AMC is going to move with how the market moves until this lawsuit is dealt with, and that dismissal order is still there, so remember, any given day that can be dismissed, and APE can convert into AMC, and AMC can have that split. Touching real quick on some AMC Ortex numbers, 24.26% short interest, utilization is maxed out, and the cost to borrow sitting at 335% for a average and a max. So the average short seller is paying more than 3 times their position just to borrow shares on AMC. As for APE, 6.46% short interest, utilization at 80%, and the cost to borrow is sitting around 7% for an average and a max at 10.5%. Now this is interesting because it shows that whoever created that lawsuit, or whoever is against the vote, hedge fund wise is not, or short seller wise is not covering their short, has not covered their short yet, which is very interesting to say the least. You guys let me know what you think about this in the comments down below. Now before we get into the important stuff, quick touch on Stonko Tracker. We haven't been doing this lately, but 80,000 shares available to borrow for Stonko Tracker at a most recent fee of 158% for AMC, and the calls to puts, this is what I wanted to take a look at. The calls to puts are looking decent for this week and next week. However, the puts are winning currently. Just keep in mind on the option chain for AMC, guys. I recently talked about how I do plan on playing AMC, and essentially I'm just waiting for it to hit a low somewhere around mid-April before buying in and loading up on calls to get this next cycle play, the next pop in the chart. So again, this is what I see for AMC. It's nearing a relative low. It filled the gap. I'd watch for $3.85 for a next bounce if AMC does decide to sell off here. But again, it filled that gap. It looks like it could potentially bounce with some volume. Touching on GameStop real quick, no shares available to borrow, 60% DRS. The fee is going up 18.1%. And they borrowed all of these shares at that percentage. We are winning on the option chain calls to puts, and essentially it's looking solid for the setup coming into earnings. I'm happy with my call position on GameStop. Also, the short percentage is extremely high, 78.6% on Stonko Tracker for GameStop, which shows that the more is being DRS, the more they have to use this. So 100% DRS could be something interesting to say the least. Now, Morgan Stanley's Michael Wilson said the stress in banking system marks what's likely to be the beginning of a painful and vicious end to the bear market in US stocks. Basically saying that this is going to be very bad, and it could be the start of the end.
Imagine upping your game and having a 99% win rate in trading. Well, Chart Prime does that, as one of their analysts has a 99% win rate, and a ton of their members are making serious gains, saving a ton of time. Basically, with 6 unique indicators and trading algorithms, Chart Prime charts setups for you as they come about, such as bull flag, bear flag, so on and so forth. They also chart what is a strong support level and what is a strong resistance level, vice versa, and categorize them in certain levels. So get access to one-on-one trading, use these algorithms, and up your game, up your level, up your status by hitting the link down below, signing up for Chart Prime, because it's a lot cheaper than anything you probably use and a lot better as well. Now, none of this is financial advice, and I can't guarantee you're making money off of anything. What I can tell you is you're getting a steal deal by using my link and signing up. Thank you, Chart Prime, for sponsoring today's video.
In other words, we are about to see a flash crash within the overall market. Touching on that, the overlay of 2008 over the S&P 500 shows that exact thing, and essentially that is what I'm expecting. The SPY is up 0.73% on the day, trading at 392.76. It hit that resistance level at 393, scaled up a little bit higher, and got smacked at right around 394. The SPY is making higher highs and higher lows, I'm not gonna lie. However, the volume is decreasing as of now on this move, which is not something that you want to see, right? It shows that this is a weaker buy move, and I personally think any day now, probably when the FOMC meeting hits on Wednesday, that the SPY is going to tank. Until then, maybe some chop trading like you're seeing right now, but essentially that is what I expect going forward. Now, this is the breakdown you need. Powell and Yellen has said that liquidity of US banks is strong. Then they announced a coordinated effort with central banks around the world to enhance liquidity. So they basically just contradicted themselves. So now this week, the long anticipated March Fed interest rate decision comes out. Currently, markets are pricing in a 62% chance of a 25 BPS rate hike. However, markets also see a 100 BPS of rate cuts by December. Now, the one thing I can tell you is the trend is your friend. If you're playing calls, if you're playing puts, make sure to play the trend. Not financial advice, I'm not a financial advisor, but I find that this way is the safest way and easiest way to take profits out of the market. If the market decides it wants to dump, if the market decides it wants to sell off, which in my opinion is what's going to happen, I'm going to play puts majority of the time. The trend is your friend. It's easier to play the trend. Now, talks with China and Russia's president on negotiations with Ukraine, so on and so forth. This is scary. China's president arrives in Russia for a state visit, and China's president is prepared to defend world order alongside Russia in accordance with international law. What do you think about this down below, guys? Is this a bad thing for the US? Does this mean nothing? And what happens with them, Ukraine, and is there going to be a World War III, so on and so forth? Now, you need this. Summary of the Credit Suisse deal with UBS. First, UBS to buy Credit Suisse for $3.3 billion. Then, Credit Suisse shareholders will get one UBS share for every 22.48 CS shares. Offer is at 76 cents, which is at a 60% discount to what the stock closed on Friday. Switzerland Central Bank has given UBS a liquidity line of over $100 billion. Over $17 billion worth of Credit Suisse bonds are now worthless, and Swiss government says it will cover losses up to $10 billion of Credit Suisse out of pocket. Merger to be done without approval of shareholders. Now, that is exactly right. Credit Suisse says $17 billion of its debt is now worthless. Now, this is horrible. $17 billion of Credit Suisse bonds are now worth exactly nothing, zip, zero, nada. And this is horrible for who? Not you. It's horrible for hedge funds holding those bonds and or using them as collateral. Now, this is definitely a possibility that we could see margin calls going forward. However, this could also just be passed on and passed on and passed on, rolled over and rolled over and rolled over, just like you are seeing it with UBS. Because remember, when Credit Suisse default swaps, their credit default swaps were going from 150 to 300 to 600 to 900 and was going crazy, and then they cracked. Well, now the cost of insurance against USB default has skyrocketed to its highest in recent memory as Credit Suisse swaps soar to 153 BPS today. Seeing the same exact thing happen. Was this a good move for them to acquire Credit Suisse even though they got a deal? Can they bring this back? What do you guys think about USP down below? I know a few people in Discord were trading it as well. Now, more layoffs come as Amazon is laying off another 9,000 employees along with Meta, Google, so on and so forth. These major blue chip stocks have been laying off employees left and right as the housing market is becoming very not affordable. I think it's at an all-time low for affordability, so on and so forth. And this FOMC meeting Wednesday is really going to decide the overall market in general. It's going to decide a lot of things, and it's going to show what the Fed wants to do. Plus, Bank of America has said AI could have $15.7 trillion impact on the global economy by 2030. $16 trillion impact within 7 years. Speaking of that, if you want free AI stocks, hit the link, download Moo and make a deposit. I'll leave that under the video. Also pop in the Discord. Overall, guys, that is what I got for you for today's video. Hopefully you found value out of the video or enjoyed watching. I love you all. Lottery Stocks out.